Commander Sarah Chen stood at the bridge of the EDF Pathfinder, watching the holographic display as another colony fell to the Korthan Empire. The blue dots representing human ships winked out one by one against the overwhelming red mass of enemy vessels. Her hands gripped the railing until her knuckles turned white. "Status report," she demanded, her voice steady despite the weight in her chest. Lieutenant Rodriguez, her sensor officer, looked up from his station. "The Arcturus colony is gone, Commander. Civilian evacuation reached 87% before the defense grid failed. The Korthans are already establishing orbital positions." Sarah closed her eyes for a moment. Arcturus was the third human colony to fall in as many months. The Korthan Empire had emerged from the depths of unexplored space 6 months ago, their massive fleet cutting through humanity's outer defenses like paper. Their technology was centuries ahead of Earth's best weapons, and their message was simple: submit or die. "Commander," Rodriguez called out suddenly, his voice taking on an odd tone. "I'm picking up something strange at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. I've never seen readings like this." Sarah moved to his station, studying the sensor data. Among the usual clutter of ice and rock that made up the belt, something was giving off energy readings that made no sense. The object was massive, nearly 2 kilometers long, but it hadn't been there in any previous scans. "Put it on the main display," she ordered. The hologram shifted, zooming in on the mysterious object. The bridge crew fell silent as the image resolved. Floating in the void was what could only be a ship, but unlike anything human or Korthan. Its hull seemed to flow like liquid metal frozen in time, covered in patterns that pulsed with a faint, silvery light. How did we miss this before? Sarah wondered aloud. The object was far too large to have simply appeared without notice. Dr. Emily Patel, the ship's xenorchaeologist, spoke up from her research station. "Commander, those energy patterns, they're similar to theoretical models of metacrystalline computing structures. If I'm reading this correctly, that ship could be millions of years old." Before Sarah could respond, the tactical alert blared. "Korthan patrol fleet detected," Lieutenant Park announced from weapons control. 3 heavy cruisers, approaching from the direction of Arcturus. They'll be in sensor range of the object in 40 minutes. Sarah's mind raced. The Pathfinder was a research vessel, barely armed, and no match for a Korthan patrol. But if this ancient ship was what it appeared to be, they couldn't let the Korthans find it first. Humanity needed every advantage it could get. "Dr. Patel, what are the chances this ship is still functional?" The xenorchaeologist's fingers flew across her console. "The energy readings are increasing, Commander. It's like it's waking up. There's some kind of automated defense grid activating, but it's not targeting us. I think it's scanning us." As if in response to Dr. Patel's words, a pulse of silver light swept through the bridge. Every screen and hologram flickered, then stabilized, showing new symbols unlike any human or Korthan script. A voice spoke directly into their minds, ancient and powerful yet somehow gentle. "Initial scan complete. Species identification: human. Current status: under attack by violated species. Beginning emergency protocols." The ancient ship's hull began to move, patterns of light racing across its surface. Sections that had appeared solid shifted and flowed, revealing docking ports that perfectly matched human ship designs that shouldn't have been possible for something so old to accommodate. "Commander," Dr. Patel said, her voice filled with wonder, "it's inviting us aboard." Sarah looked at the tactical display. The Korthan patrol was getting closer, and the Pathfinder couldn't hope to fight them. But this discovery could change everything, if they could understand it in time. "Plot a course to the nearest docking port," she ordered, "and send a encrypted burst transmission to Earth Command. Tell them we found something that might save us all." As the Pathfinder approached the ancient vessel, more systems came online. The patterns of light grew stronger, and through the bridge windows they could see sections of the hull literally rebuilding themselves, repairing damage from millions of years of dormancy. The voice spoke in their minds again. Warning. Hostile forces approaching. Time to full systems activation. Unknown. Initiating emergency integration protocols. Integration protocols. Lieutenant Rodriguez asked nervously. We're about to find out, Sarah replied as the Pathfinder's docking clamps engaged with a solid thunk. Dr. Patel, you're with me. Lieutenant Park, keep the engines hot in case we need to bug out. Everyone else, standard boarding protocols. Whatever this ship is, it might be humanity's last hope. Let's not waste this chance. As Sarah led her team toward the airlock, she could feel the ancient ship's presence in her mind growing stronger. It wasn't invasive or controlling, more like it was offering knowledge, waiting for them to accept it. The Corthans would arrive soon, and she had a feeling they were about to discover that humanity wasn't as defenseless as they thought. The true nature of this mysterious vessel and the civilization that created it was about to change the course of the war, and perhaps the destiny of all spacefaring species. But first, they had to survive the next few hours. The airlock cycled open with a soft hiss, revealing a corridor that seemed to breathe with light. Commander Chen led her team inside, their boots making no sound on the metallic floor despite its apparently solid nature. Dr. Patel walked beside her, scanner in hand, while security officers Matthews and Kira brought up the rear. These readings are impossible, Dr. Patel muttered, eyes fixed on her device. The hull isn't just metal, it's some kind of programmable matter. The entire ship is essentially one massive quantum computer. The ancient vessel's presence touched their minds again, stronger now that they were inside. Primary systems continuing startup sequence. Warning. Hostile forces will arrive in 37 minutes, beginning accelerated integration protocol. The walls around them pulsed with silvery light, and Sarah felt knowledge beginning to flow into her mind. Not forced, but offered, like memories she'd always had but never accessed before. She saw flashes of battles fought eons ago, of ships like this one standing guard over young civilizations, protecting them as they grew. Commander, Matthews called out, his voice tight. The walls, they're moving. The corridor was indeed shifting, its structure flowing like mercury to create new pathways. The patterns of light seemed to be guiding them somewhere. Sarah realized she could somehow sense the ship's layout now, as if she'd served aboard it for years. This way, she said with certainty. It's showing us to the command center. They emerged into a vast chamber that defied human engineering. The walls curved impossibly, covered in displays that showed both local space and distant star systems. At the center was a raised platform with what appeared to be control interfaces, but they shifted and changed even as the team watched. 30 minutes until Corthan contact, Rodriguez reported through their comms. They're moving faster than expected. Dr. Patel approached one of the shifting displays, her hand hovering over its surface. Commander, these symbols, they're not just a language. They're teaching us how to read them even as we look at them. This ship, it's not just advanced technology. It's like it was designed to be found, to be used by whoever needed it most. The ship's eye spoke again. Correct. This vessel is one of many guardians created by the precursor civilization to protect and guide younger species. Your current adversaries, the Corthan Empire, have violated primary directives by attacking a developing civilization. Sarah stepped onto the central platform, and the control interfaces responded immediately, reshaping themselves to match human ergonomics. Knowledge continued to flow into her mind. Weapon systems, defensive capabilities, power generation methods that bordered on magic. Can you help us fight them? She asked the AI directly. Affirmative. However, full systems activation requires additional time. Current status: 43% operational capacity. Tactical options limited but available. Lieutenant Park's voice crackled over the comms. Commander, you need to see this. The ship's outer hull, it's changing. Through the mental link with the vessel, Sarah could see what was happening. The ancient ship's surface was coming alive, layers of dormant technology awakening. Weapon ports that had been sealed for millions of years opened smoothly, revealing arrays that could manipulate the fabric of space itself. Defense systems activated, generating fields that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Dr. Patel, Sarah called out, work with the AI. Learn everything you can about this ship's capabilities. Matthews, Kira, secure our connection to the Pathfinder. If we need to bug out, I want it to be fast. The xenorchaeologist was already deep in communion with the ship's systems, her eyes wide with wonder. Commander, this is incredible. The precursors, they weren't just advanced. They had unified the laws of physics, mathematics, and consciousness itself. This ship doesn't just fight battles. It can rewrite the rules of reality. A new alert flashed across the displays. Attention, the AI announced. Detecting additional Corthan vessels entering the system. Estimated total force, 7 heavy cruisers, 1 dreadnought. Time to arrival, 25 minutes. Sarah felt her heart sink. Even with the ancient ship's help, they were about to face overwhelming odds. The knowledge flowing into her mind showed her fragments of the vessel's true power, but much of it remained locked away, still awakening from its eons-long slumber. Options, she asked both her crew and the AI. Dr. Patel looked up from her studies. The ship's stealth systems are online. We could try to hide, wait for full activation. Negative, the AI responded. Corthan sensor technology, while primitive by precursor standards, will detect our energy signature during startup sequence. Combat inevitable. Sarah studied the tactical displays, now showing projections of the coming battle. The Corthan ships were formidable, their technology far beyond current human capabilities. But this vessel, even at partial power, operated on a fundamentally different level. It didn't just have better weapons, it could alter the underlying principles that made the Corthan's weapons work. We're not running, she decided. Humanity's been on the defensive since this war started. Maybe it's time we showed the Corthans they picked a fight with the wrong species. She turned to her crew. We've got 20 minutes to learn how to use this ship. Let's make them count. The ancient vessel hummed with growing power as more systems came online. Through their strengthening mental link, Sarah could feel its approval of her decision. This ship had been built to protect, to stand against exactly this kind of aggression. After millions of years of waiting, it was about to fulfill its purpose once again. As her crew raced to prepare for battle, Sarah felt a strange calm settle over her. The knowledge of ages flowed through her mind, showing her possibilities that no human had ever imagined. The Corthans thought their technology made them invincible. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The Corthan fleet emerged from hyperspace in a blaze of exotic particles, their black ships bristling with weapons. The dreadnought alone was larger than anything humanity had ever built, its hull scarred from countless victories. Through the ancient vessel's enhanced sensors, Sarah could see the enemy ship's energy signatures flaring as they prepared for battle. Multiple targeting locks detected, the AI announced calmly. Corthan weapons charging. Current system status, 57% operational capacity. Sarah stood on the command platform, feeling the ship's power flowing through her mind. The knowledge it had shared showed her possibilities that defied conventional physics. Dr. Patel, status of the defense systems. Online but not at full strength, the xenorchaeologist replied, her hands dancing over the liquid crystal controls. The ship's showing me something interesting, though. These aren't just shields. They're more like reality filters. The Corthan dreadnought fired first, its main gun releasing a beam of energy that could crack planets. Sarah didn't flinch. Through her neural link with the ship, she could see exactly what was about to happen. The beam struck their shields and shattered into streams of pure light that flowed around the hull like water. The AI explained through their mental connection, hostile weapon energy redirected through dimensional phase shift, power absorption at optimal levels. They're not going to like that, Matthews muttered from his security station. He was right. The Korthan fleet opened fire with everything they had. Energy beams, plasma torpedoes, and exotic particle weapons filled space between the ships. Each attack met the ancient vessel's defenses in a different way. Some were absorbed, others reflected, and some simply ceased to exist as local physics were rewritten around them. Power levels rising, Dr. Patel reported excitedly. The attacks. The ship is using them to speed up its reactivation. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Time to show them what this ship can really do. Weapons status. Primary defense neutralization systems online. The AI responded. Warning. Lethal force protocols locked by original programming. This vessel is designed to protect and disable, not destroy. Good, Sarah said firmly. We're better than them. Let's prove it. She reached out through the neural interface, selecting a weapon system that the ship's knowledge told her would be most effective. The ancient vessel's hull shifted, revealing arrays of crystalline structures that pulsed with blue-white light. Target their weapon systems only, she ordered. Fire. Beams of pure light lanced out from the Guardian ship, each one finding its mark with impossible precision. Where they struck, the Korthan vessel's weapon ports simply changed. Metal and energy weapons transformed at the quantum level, becoming inert matter. By the stars, Rodriguez breathed over the comms from his station on the Pathfinder. Commander, their weapons. They're just gone. Not destroyed. Just transformed. The Korthan fleet's formation broke apart, ships turning to protect their suddenly vulnerable sections. The dreadnought launched a swarm of fighters, their smaller weapons still operational. Incoming transmission, the AI announced. Korthan command ship demanding our surrender. Sarah's response was to target another weapons array. More quantum transformation beams fired, systematically disarming the Korthan fleet ship by ship. The fighters swooped in, their energy weapons blazing, only to find their attacks absorbed by fields of light that turned their own power against them. System status now at 68%. The AI reported. New capabilities coming online. Warning. Korthan vessels attempting quantum tunnel drive activation. Through the mental link, Sarah saw what they were planning. A desperate attempt to tear open space itself, creating a weapon out of the fabric of reality. The knowledge flowing through her mind showed her exactly how dangerous that would be. "Oh no, you don't," she muttered. "Dr. Patel, you said this ship can rewrite the rules. Show me how." The xenoarchaeologist's hands flew over her console, accessing localized physics manipulation protocols. "Commander, we can create a bubble of altered space-time around their ships. In that bubble, their quantum tunnel drive just won't work." "Do it." The ancient vessel's hull patterns shifted again, now glowing with a deep purple light. Space itself seemed to bend around them as the ship exerted its power. A sphere of altered reality enveloped the Korthan fleet, and their desperate attempt to create a quantum tunnel fizzled out harmlessly. "Attention Korthan vessels," Sarah broadcast on all frequencies. "Your weapons have been neutralized. Your quantum drive has been contained. You're not in danger, but you are out of options." The response was immediate and aggressive. The Korthan commander's harsh voice filled their command center. "What are you? What is this ship?" "This is a Guardian vessel," Sarah replied calmly, letting the ship's knowledge guide her words. "Left behind by a civilization that understood war isn't the answer. We could have destroyed you. Instead, we chose to show you a better way." Through their sensors, they watched as the Korthan ships hung powerless in space. The mighty empire that had seemed unstoppable was suddenly confronted with technology so advanced it appeared magical. But Sarah knew this was just the beginning. "Commander," Dr. Patel called out urgently. "Something's happening. The ship, it's accessing deeper levels of its database. I think it's preparing to show us something. All of us, including the Korthans." The ancient vessel's presence grew stronger in their minds as more systems awakened. What had started as a battle was about to become something much more significant. The real revelation. The truth that would change both human and Corthan civilization forever was about to begin. The ancient vessel's systems pulsed with new energy as its deeper archives awakened. The command center's displays shifted, showing images that made both humans and Corthans, connected through the ship's communication systems, fall silent in awe. Beginning historical data transmission, the AI announced. Accessing precursor legacy archives, all connected minds prepare for temporal memorial integration. Through their neural link, Sarah felt the ship preparing something massive. Dr. Patel, what's happening? The ship isn't just showing us data, the xenorchaeologist replied, her voice filled with wonder. It's letting us experience history itself. The precursors, they found a way to store actual memories in quantum states. We're about to see where we all came from. The command center filled with light, and suddenly they weren't just watching history, they were living it. The memories of the precursors flowed through their minds, clear as their own thoughts. They saw them, the ones who had come before, beings of pure energy and matter combined, who had achieved such mastery over the universe that the distinction between technology and natural law had ceased to exist. They watched as these entities, driven by an overwhelming love for life itself, seeded countless worlds with the building blocks of evolution. Your conflict stems from ignorance, the AI explained as the memories unfolded. The precursors did not create random life. They crafted an interconnected web of species, each designed to develop unique strengths that would one day complement the others. The images shifted, showing familiar worlds. Earth, with its early oceans teeming with carefully engineered primitive life. The harsh desert planet that would one day birth the Corthan species, its first organisms specifically designed to thrive in extreme conditions. Impossible, the Corthan commander's voice shook. We achieved our power through natural superiority, through strength and conquest. Your strength was given to you, Sarah responded, understanding flowing through her from the ship's archives. Just as humanity's adaptability and creativity were given to us. We were never meant to fight each other. We were meant to be partners. More memories cascaded through their minds. They saw the precursors creating the guardianships, programming them with their highest ideals and most advanced technologies. These vessels were left as guides and protectors, meant to awaken when the younger species began reaching for the stars, and prevent them from destroying each other before they could understand their shared destiny. Your weapons, Dr. Patel said suddenly, turning to address the Corthan fleet. They're based on principles the precursors deliberately left in your path. Breadcrumbs leading to greater understanding, just as humanity's grasp of quantum mechanics was guided by structures left in our own DNA. The Corthan ships hung silent in space as their crews processed this revelation. Through the ship's sensors, Sarah could see energy readings fluctuating as the mighty empire's finest warriors struggled with the truth of their origins. System status now at 82%, the AI reported. Accessing deeper archaeological records, presenting evidence of deliberate evolutionary guidance. The next wave of memories showed the careful planning that had gone into both species. The Corthan's natural armor and strength, evolved from organisms specifically engineered to survive their harsh world. Humanity's extraordinary brain structure, the result of countless tiny adjustments to primate genetics over millions of years. We were never meant to be enemies, Sarah broadcast to all ships. Look at how perfectly our species complement each other. Your strength and our innovation, your endurance and our adaptability. Even the way our technologies have developed, they're designed to work together. As if to demonstrate her point, the Guardian ship's systems interface with both human and Corthan technology simultaneously, showing how their apparently incompatible systems were actually built on the same fundamental principles left behind by the precursors. The Corthan Dreadnought's commander spoke again, his voice different now. All our belief in superiority, all our conquests, we were simply children fighting in the cradle. Children who are finally ready to grow up, Sarah replied. This ship, these memories, they're not just about the past. They're about our future. The precursors left us a roadmap to the stars themselves, but we can only follow it together. Dr. Patel's console chimed with new data. Commander, the ship's showing me something else. These Guardian vessels, they're not just peacekeepers. They're keys to unlocking higher technologies. But they're designed so that multiple species have to work together to access them. No single civilization can do it alone. The ancient vessel's presence touched all their minds again, its power growing as more systems activated. Primary revelation protocol complete. Beginning integration of compatible technologies. Warning. Major paradigm shift imminent in connected species. Sarah felt it happening. Human and Corthan minds connected through the ship's network were starting to understand each other in ways that transcended language or culture. The carefully crafted differences between their species, designed to drive them together rather than apart, were becoming clear to everyone. But even as this understanding spread through both fleets, new alerts flashed across the command center's displays. The ship's long-range sensors had detected something that made Sarah's blood run cold. Multiple Corthan battle fleets responding to distress calls. The AI announced. Estimated arrival time. 6 hours. These forces do not yet share the revelation. They will respond with maximum aggression. Sarah looked at the tactical display, watching the waves of enemy ships approaching. The truth was spreading through the ships present, but most of the Corthan Empire still believed in their destiny of conquest. They had won a battle of understanding here, but the real war, the war for the future of both their species, was about to begin. The massive Corthan battle fleets appeared at the edge of the system, their weapons charged and ready for war. Through the Guardian ship's enhanced sensors, Sarah could see hundreds of vessels, including 5 dreadnoughts. It was the kind of force that had crushed human colonies with ease. All those ships, Matthews whispered. Even with this vessel's power, how can we face so many? We don't fight them. Sarah replied firmly. We show them what we've learned. The same way the precursors showed us. She turned to Dr. Patel. How close is the ship to full power? System status at 94%, the xenoarchaeologist reported. And Commander, the ship's been preparing something. The AI says it's a protocol specifically designed for this situation. The Guardian vessel's presence touched their minds, stronger than ever, initiating final revelation protocol. Warning. This procedure will permanently alter the consciousness of all connected species within range. Do you accept? Sarah looked at her crew, then at the tactical display showing both the approaching Corthan armada and the now allied ships around them. The first Corthan commander they'd encountered, his consciousness expanded by the precursor memories, spoke through their neural link. My people are proud warriors, he said, but we were meant to be so much more. You have my support, Commander Chen. Let us show them the truth. Sarah nodded. Execute the protocol. The ancient ship's hull transformed. The patterns that had seemed like flowing metal became pure light, spreading out in waves that defied normal space. The vessel was becoming something else, something that existed simultaneously in multiple dimensions. Attention all human and Corthan vessels. The AI broadcast. This Guardian unit will now demonstrate the true legacy of the precursors. Prepare for ascension. The approaching Corthan fleet opened fire, their weapons at maximum power. But the energy beams and plasma torpedoes never reached their targets. Instead, they were caught in fields of pure light, transformed into new patterns that began to spread through space itself. The Guardian ship was rewriting reality around them, creating a bubble of altered space-time that expanded to encompass both fleets. Inside this bubble, the knowledge and memories they had gained became more than information. They became part of the fabric of space itself. By the gods, Dr. Patel breathed. The ship isn't just showing them the truth. It's letting them experience all of history at once. Every moment from the precursor's seeding of our worlds to now. The effect spread through the Corthan fleet like a wave of light. Sarah could feel their minds connecting to the network, experiencing the same revelations that had transformed their first opponents. But this was more than just shared memories. The ship was showing them the future too. They saw their species working together, combining Corthan strength with human innovation. They watched as joint colonies flourished, as shared technology reached new heights. They witnessed the next step in both their species' evolution, the destiny the precursors had planned for them all along. Multiple ships powering down weapons, Matthews reported. They're shutting down their combat systems voluntarily. The bubble of altered spacetime continued to grow, now encompassing the entire star system. The Guardian ship's power levels reached their peak, and with that final surge came the most incredible revelation yet. Through their neural link, the AI shared the ultimate truth. The precursors did not leave. They evolved. Their pattern exists in the quantum fabric of space itself. And now, after eons of waiting, their children are ready to understand. The ship's transformation completed. It was no longer just a vessel but a bridge between dimensions, a key to understanding reality itself. The patterns of light that had covered its hull now spread throughout space, connecting every human and Corthan mind in range. And with that connection came understanding. The Corthans saw that their drive for conquest had been a misdirection of their true purpose, to be the strength that humanity's innovation would guide. Humans realized that their struggles had prepared them to be the wisdom that would direct Corthan power. All Corthan vessels standing down, Matthews announced, his voice filled with awe. They're requesting permission to approach, to learn. Sarah stood on the command platform, feeling the weight of history, past and future, flowing through her mind. Grant them access to the network. Let them see everything we've seen. The war that had threatened to destroy humanity became something else entirely, the first step toward a union that the precursors had planned millions of years ago. The Guardian ship, its purpose fulfilled, began to change again. Its technology merged with both human and Corthan systems, showing them how to take their first steps toward their shared destiny. This is not an ending, the AI told them as its consciousness expanded to encompass all connected minds. This is the beginning. The precursors' final gift to their children is the path to join them. Sarah looked out at the combined fleet, no longer divided by species or ideology. The transformed Guardian ship pulsed with power, ready to guide them all toward a future that none of them could have imagined alone. Send word to Earth, she ordered, and to the Corthan Empire. Tell them it's time to come home. All of us, together. The ancient vessel's light spread further, reaching toward distant stars. The war was over, but the real journey, the one the precursors had planned for all along, was just beginning. Humanity and the Corthans had taken their first step toward becoming something greater than either species had ever dreamed possible. In the depths of space, more Guardian ships began to wake, ready to guide other young species toward the same revelation. The precursors' plan, millions of years in the making, was finally bearing fruit. The children of the stars were growing up, and the universe itself waited to welcome them home.